Welcome to the Grimdark Gamers channel, and welcome to a long overdue Kill Team Battle Report. We're both using new teams today. Jester is taking the new Phobos rules for a spin, whereas I'll be using Ork Kommandos for the first time. As such, you can expect some rules errors in this video. If any become obvious, I'll post the corrections in a pinned comment below for those that want them. Right, let's not waste any more time, on with the video. The galaxy has been plagued by the Ork menace for too long. Nowhere is this more true than in the Octarius sector. The territory of the Ork Empire of Octarius has been a persistent thorn in the Imperium's side. Imperial forces are only just managing to keep the area under quarantine via the Cordon and Penetra, but action needs to be taken if the situation is to improve. Hot on the trail from hunting remnants of High Fleet Leviathan, a Blood Angels Vanguard strike force has arrived in the area and has deployed scouting forces onto the surface of the Ork-held world of Octarius. Quickly moving out from the deployment zone, less than a week goes by before Infiltrator Squad Glario tracks down an Ork force and successfully discovers their crude encampment. Today's game is Mission 1, secure the approach from the Critical Operations Sentries mission pack from White Dwarf 476. In this mission, the Blood Angels infiltrators have discovered the main weak point into the Ork base, but the enemy's eyes must be blinded and the approach secured so that a full assault can be made. There are 6 objective markers in this mission, representing the 2 sides of the approach into the base. In order to score victory points, a side must first get an operative to spend an action point to secure approach, which activates the objective marker until the end of the battle. Each objective marker, the end of each turning point which is controlled by a friendly operative, grants the controlling side a victory point. This game will be using the new Sentries rules. The Orks are the defenders in this scenario, with these 2 boys, which must have an engage order, starting their sentry patrol. Unfortunately for the defending player, their sentries have minds of their own, represented by opposing dice rolls. Each sentry phase, both players roll off for each sentry. Whoever rolls highest gets to move that sentry d6 inches, whereas a tie results in the sentry passing its turn. The Blood Angel Phobos Marines have a single operative as their Intruder, who is scouting the way into the Ork base. The purpose of the Intruder in this scenario is to try and activate as many markers as possible before the alarm sounds and the main battle begins. Note, in addition to being spotted by the Sentries, the alarm in this scenario is automatically triggered when the Intruder has activated 3 objective markers. It's time to get to the action for the first sentry phase. As the Ork sentries arrive at the perimeter of their base, I roll a 6 for the first sentry, beating Jester's roll of 3. Unfortunately, I then roll a 1, so the Ork begins his patrol, grumbling and dragging his feet. We then roll for the next sentry, and the second Ork, evidently in an even worse mood at being given guard duty, decides he's not ready to start his patrol yet, and gets distracted by something inside their camp. It's now time for the Blood Angels infiltrator to act, quickly advancing to the first barricade and securing the approach by flipping over the objective. The Ork boys continue to be distracted, with the first sentry deciding he doesn't need to venture out just yet, and the second boy turns around but doesn't leave the confines of the base. Seeing that the sentries are distracted, the Blood Angel stealthily moves up behind the door of a ruined building and secures the approach. With this part of the approach secured, the infiltrator tucks in deeper into the ruin to remain unseen. Jester and I then roll for the sentries again. The dice decided to reveal that maybe the Blood Angel wasn't as quiet as he thought he was when he moved up to the door, and the first Ork must have heard something because the first Ork sentry decides to move in closer to investigate. The second Ork, however, clearly didn't hear anything. Jester rolled higher than me and decided that the second Ork was looking for a comfy place to nap.
The infiltrator veteran, aware that that Ork's likely to see him if he steps out into the open, is going to come back here, step through this door, and then move his way right to there.
The Marine's instincts prove to be spot on. I roll higher than Jester, and the first Ork sentry quickens his pace to investigate the source of the noise, moving a full 6 inches. We roll off for the second Ork, and Jester wins her roll. The second Ork, having found a comfy place to have a nap, now goes to look for his pillow. Hearing the Ork approach his position, the infiltrator decides to hold still and remain silent. Once again his instincts prove correct, as the next Sentry dice roll for the first Ork results in him going full Skyrim NPC and thinking to himself, must have been the wind, and turns around to walk back to the base. The second Ork Sentry roll is a tie, meaning the Ork passes as he picks up and fluffs his pillow.
Veteran Marine realizes that this is his opportunity to pass unnoticed and hurries to here.
Once more returning to the Orks, Jester wins the roll-off for the first Ork Sentry, who passes through the fortification door to check up on his mate. Moving on to the second Ork, Jester and I roll off. I win the roll, but I only manage to get the Ork to move 3 inches. The Ork decides to approach the other Sentry while sheepishly holding his pillow behind his back.
With the Orks out of sight, my Marine is going to move dash to here.
The roll-off for the first Ork results in a tie, meaning he doesn't move as he glares at the other Ork fading behind the pillow behind his back. "Oi, what have you got there, you lazy git?" he growls. "I ain't got nothing, mate," says the second Ork as he wins his roll-off, and I manage to roll a 6 for his movement, causing him to run past the other Ork and maybe finally get back to work. Moving back to the Intruder, the Marine, tightly hugging the wall, moves to the objective and secures the approach. Mechanically, as per the rules for the scenario, this automatically triggers the alarm. Narratively, Snickrot the Grot wakes up from his nap, gets up with a loud, for a grot, yawn, and spots the Marine sheltering in the ruin. Letting out a startled squeak, Snickrot runs and sets off the alarm, putting the Ork camp into high alert.
With the alarm raised, Sergeant Glario orders the rest of the squad to move into support. Having dealt with Orks in the past, the experienced Sergeant deploys his squad on the right flank. Orks are aggressive and well known to charge from concealed positions, so he orders all of his brother Marines to have engage orders and activates the strategic ploy, Bolter Discipline, in order to try and thin the greenskin numbers. Keeping the bigger picture in mind, the Sergeant reveals his secondary objectives, Triangulate and Vantage, to get a better view of the base and send its coordinates to the rest of the Blood Angel strike force, before finally ordering his infiltrators to use their Omni Scramblers on the Ork boy in the open, stunning the boy into inaction.
The Ork Sentries may have proven incompetent by Commando standards, but having been warned of the incoming Space Marines, the Ork Knob, a proud blood axe full of Mork's cunning, quietly gathers his boys and splits them into 2 groups. Initially, they have to deploy within their deployment area marked by the blue zone. The Knob, however, uses his Orky know-whats to cunningly tell his boys to sneak forwards using the shh strategic ploy, while telling the Ork Sniper and Rocket Boy to climb up on top of the wall ramparts and give the incoming red gits the good stuff. The Ork Comms Boy is going to move up to the objective marker here. He is going to secure the approach for 3, making this active. And then he is just going to dash back a tiny bit to be hidden here, while still remaining in control of the objective.
The Veteran is going to move up to this barricade and take a shot at the Ork boy over there. 4 shots, lethal 5, with rending, so I will retain that as a critical, so that is 4 criticals.
Well, I'll set aside a normal save. Being in cover makes no difference. I block 1 critical.
Okay, 12 wounds to the Ork.
That's 1 dead boy.
For the Veteran's second shot, he's going to shoot at the burner boy. That one's cocked. Okay, so not such a good shot this time. 2 normal.
He's out in the open, needing 5s.
Oh, nice.
Having seen his mate get blown apart in front of him and then come under fire himself, the The burner boy is going to move and tuck into cover here, remaining concealed, but for his second action he's going to secure the approach on this objective marker.
My cursor marksman is going to climb up the wall, dash to this window, peer down and take a shot at the burner. AP1 and lethal. Ooh! So 1 crit and 1 normal.
Okay, I'll set aside normal save. Okay, so I blocked the normal, does critical damage, which is how many wounds?
4.
My Ork boy is going to run by moving and then dashing through the door of the Ork structure up against this ruined building to secure this approach.
My Voxbreaker is going to move and dash up to this window. That will allow him to shoot at the boy over here. Ooh, ouch. Okay, so one normal hit.
5s.
Ooh,
Block.
2 6s. Wow.
The sniper boy is going to use the piece of rope he's equipped with to climb up here and then move to that part of the building, remaining concealed.
My comms marine is going to let the sergeant know that everything is clear. That's going to allow the sergeant to strategize for a command point, and then the comms guy is going to move dash over to this barricade.
Slasher boy is going to dash up to the door, go through it and move and take cover behind a scrap heap there.
Sergeant is going to move and dash up next to his battle brother, and then will shoot through the window into the boy still on objective 4. Alright, so that is 3 crits and a normal.
2 critical saves, meaning a critical and a normal hit go through, for 7 wounds, putting the Ork boy down to 3. Preacher boy is going to move up through the door and sneak behind, take cover.
Medic is going to dash to here, triangulate this board edge, and then move around to here. And his turn.
Dacker boy is going to move up through the door to just behind here and is going to open up against the sergeant. Hitting on 4s. Okay, 2 hits and a crit.
Alright, so I blocked the crit and the 2 hits. Sergeant's okay. Voxbreaker Marine in the window is going to take a shot at the wounded boy over there. The Emperor! Oh, poor. Okay, 1 normal hit.
Gorks this now. The Ork rocket boy is going to use his piece of rope to climb up the building, move up to here, and he's going to fire his rockets at the marksman on top of the building in the distance. Right, dice hitting on 4s. Okay, so that's 4 regular hits. You have AP 1. Okay, so you block a regular hit. That does 12 wounds. The Ork whoops in excitement as the explosion sends the Marine over the horizon.
Oblivious to the bullets bouncing off his backpack, the sergeant is going to take an overwatch shot at the boy across the way. 3s. I'm actually going to command reroll that one.
Never works.
Never works. Okay, so that is 3 normal hits. Wow. Good roll.
The Ork knob is going to come out through the door and he's going to take a kneel behind the scrap heap here. At the end of the first turn, the Blood Angels, who are now down to 5 operatives following the loss of their marksman, control 2 objective markers and score 2 victory points. The Orks, who have also lost an operative, were not caught as unawares as the Marines were perhaps hoping for. Surging forwards, they swarmed the approach point into their base, controlling 3 objective markers. However, their shock tactics objective is revealed at the end of the first turning point, and as they incapacitated a Phobos Marine, they score an additional victory point for a total of 4.
Concerned at the early loss of the squad marksman, Sergeant Glario orders the squad to maintain their bolter discipline and to use their Omni-Scramblers on the newly revealed threat, the rocket launcher-wielding Ork boy on top of the ramparts, stunning the greenskin. The squad will try and focus on staying out of the Orks' fighting range and continue to try and thin their numbers.
Seeing the rocket boy blow up that red beaky git what was shooting down on the lads causes the rest of the Orks to roar in anticipation of the upcoming scrap. However, when the rocket boy lets out what can only be described as a wounded pig squeal as his mind is scrambled, the Ork Nob orders his boys to skulk about as they move to engage the Marines.
For the first action of Turning Point 2, the Sergeant is going to turn around and shoot at the Omni-Scrambled rocket boy. Hit on 2s.
4 normal hits.
4 normal hits.
Well, I might as well set aside a normal hit. Normal armor save and being in cover. And that is 1 critical save and normal 7 total. So I block 2, 2 go through.
6 ones. And then for his second shot into the rocket boy. Bit more like it. 4 crits.
Wow. I'm going to just roll all blanks and just see if I can get 3 critical saves. No. Okay, so 3 crits go through for 12 wounds, killing the rocket boy.
Sergeant is then going to move through the door out to the scrap pile outside.
It's time for the breacher boy to get in on the action. He is going to charge 4 circles and swing his breacher ram at the veteran infiltrator. Hitting 3s.
Hitting on 3s.
Wow. Okay, so your your veteran was obviously dodging out the way. I missed completely. You managed to land 1 hit. How many wounds?
3. Comms Marine is going to shoot at the knob. Alright, so I got 3 normals and 1 crit.
I'm going to set aside a save from skulking about, and then the knob saves and force. So I'll block a crit and a normal, so 2 normals go through for 6 wounds, putting him down to 7.
With Bolter Discipline, second shot. Ooh, not so good. 2 normals.
Okay, skulking about, setting aside a pass save. We're fine.
Comms Marine is then going to use his comms array to message the Sergeant, who is then going to use this opportunity to strategize.
Gaining an extra command point. Okay, it's time for the knob to get some crumping in, so he's going to charge from cover, go for the box breaker. Hitting on 3s. Oof.
Okay.
I'm going to command. Wait, re-roll this one.
Never works.
Never works. So, my 1 mega hit, I will strike you for 5 wounds, which puts you down to 7.
I will then hit you for 1 crit and 2 normals.
Okay, so I'm going to spend my last command point on just a scratch to ignore the damage from the critical hit, so the 2 normals go through for 6 damage. The Vox Breaker counterattacks the knob with a punch to the face. As Jester rolled at least a single hit in striking first and the knob only has 1 wound remaining, the knob is slain as the Marine's fist punches straight through his skull.
Box Breaker is then going to turn around, shoot through the window at the injured boy across the way. 4 shots, hitting on 3s.
Oof, I think that's the end of him.
3 crits on a normal.
Okay, I'm putting aside a normal save from Skulk About. And that Ork is dead. Double kill for the Vox Breaker.
And then the Voxbreaker is going to move back here to stand next to the medic.
The sniper boy is going to use that best spot action to fire from a concealed position at the sergeant. Hitting on 3s. Okay, that is 4 normal hits and a crit. You are in cover.
Okay, well, I'm going to set aside a save. Tactical reroll. Never works.
Never works. So including the mortal wounds, that's 10 wounds to the sergeant, putting him down to 3.
The medic is going to heal up the Voxbreaker, and then we'll shoot at the DAC boy.
Okay, he covers 3 wounds.
Okay. 2 crits.
I'll set aside a normal save. Two crits go through. 8 wounds.
And then with the medic's final action, he's going to shoot again. Oof, not a good roll. 2 normal hits.
Set aside a save. Okay, so 1 save is going to go.
1 hit's going to go through for 3 wounds.
Killing the orc. Okay, Comms Boy is going to move from his position here, remaining concealed behind the barricade here. He's then going to give the Burner Boy an extra action point.
Veteran Marine is going to continue fighting in hand-to-hand combat with the Breacher Boy. 4 attacks, hitting on 3s.
2 hits. You have 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Okay, 2 hits.
Okay. So I will do 1 hit through for 3.
Okay, so he does 3 wounds, going down to 4. I'm going to smash you with a Preacher for 5 wounds.
Okay.
You can only strike me again, you can't parry without a crit because of the brutal roll, so
Same again.
So that's another 3 wounds, and then I will smash you the Breacher, taking you out, I believe. No, because you're on full health. You go down to 2 wounds, and I've gone down to 1.
And then the veteran is going to use 2 action points to move to here.
The Burner Boy is going to swap his order out for an engage order, and then he's going to dash and then move to here, just putting him in flamer range of the sergeant. Hitting on 2s.
So with my cover, I'm going to take 1 as an automatic, and then save the other. He's a very lucky sergeant.
Oh, okay. That was.
Medic's then going to do an overwatch shot into the Breacher Boy. Okay, 4 shots, hitting on 4s. Okay, 2 go, 1 crit, 1 normal.
Okay, so I'm skulking about. I'm going to retain a normal save.
No, lucky
He
orc.
shrugs it off. The Slasher Boy is going to pull back. He is going to dash and then move around the corner here. Stay concealed, guarding this approach. Turning Point 2 proved to be incredibly brutal as the Blood Angels viciously cut down an additional 3 orcs without suffering any additional casualties in return. They still hold only 2 objectives to the orcs' 3, so gain an extra 2 victory points for a total of 4. The orcs gain an additional 4 victory points instead of 3 due to holding more objectives than the Blood Angels and thus scoring the second condition for their Shock Tactics tactical op. This brings their total to 8. These orcs are proud blood axes, meaning they're a bit more cunning than your average squig-for-brains goth boy. Realising they're a bit outgunned, and loving it, the orcs have decided they're going to focus on securing the approach and focus on the objectives to buy time for the rest of the orc force to show up. The burner boy, however, excited at the prospect of torching the Blood Angel sergeant with his burner, is ignoring that characteristically un-orky orc wisdom and will focus on taking out the sergeant to try and score the rout tactical op.
The sergeant curses as he realises he and his squad mates are exposed, but notes with grim satisfaction the bloody toll the Blood Angels are inflicting on the orc greenskins. It's time for the infiltrators to try and secure as much of the approach as possible and pave the way for the main assault force. To that end, he yells down the combead to maintain bolter discipline and bolsters his men, helping them ignore their injuries by reminding them that they are the Emperor's Angels of Death and they know no fear. Spotting the threat presented by the orc sniper, the infiltrators focus their omni-scramblers on him, stunning the orc into effectively acting last.
Alright, the burner boy doesn't care, he's throwing himself into the thick of it here. He enjoys it. He wants to rout the enemy, so he's going to move to here, which is just outside of engagement range of the guy here. And now he's going to douse the sergeant in Promethean. Flamer shots, hitting on 2s. Okay, that's 4 normal hits.
Okay. I have got some cover.
Yep, so you can set aside 1 for
I'm
cover.
going to set aside 1 for cover. And then I block 2. And that leaves me with 1. The sergeant, not counting as injured thanks to knowing no fear, is going to take a shot at the burner boy. 4s hitting on 2s.
I will set aside a save. I'm kind of doing a kick at there.
Oh, saved it. The sergeant is then going to move through the door here, stand next to the medic. He's then going to shoot at the breacher boy. 4 shots, hitting on 2s. Alright, we've got 3 normals and a crit.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter what I roll here because you only need to do 1 roll, 1 hit. You have killed the breacher boy. Okay, the comms boy is going to be cunning and give the sniper boy an extra action point just in case he needs it, and then he's going to pass and remain hidden by the barricade.
My box breaker is going to move dash round to the objective here, and then flip this over.
The slasher boy is going to pass.
Okay, the medic is going to heal the sergeant. 2d3. 3 wounds. The medic is then going to move around to here.
Orc sniper boy, now that he's unscrambled, he is going to fire at the medic using his abbot action. Hitting on 2s. Okay, that's all of them hit, and the critical will do 2 more wounds as well.
So I just saved 1 of the normals.
Okay, so that's 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more wounds is 12.
Ouch! That's the medic down.
Okay, and because he's letting those Marines have it, he's now going to keep shooting at the Marine that was next to the medic. 2 hits. Block 1, so you take 2 wounds, which puts him down to 8. So with the extra action points he has from the comms boy earlier, he's going to drop down through the hatch using his rope and end his turn.
Comms operator is going to shoot the burner boy. 4 shots, hitting on 3s.
Crit, 2 crits. Nada, so he does 8 wounds, which kills the burner boy.
He will then move up behind the door to control objective 4. And then my veteran is going to move dash to here with a conceal order and hunker down.
That is the end of turn 3. The Orcs lost another 2 operatives this turn and now only hold 2 points of the approach, bringing their victory point total to 10. The Blood Angels lost their medic this turn but now hold 3 objectives, bringing their total score to 7. With the boss down, the Orc sniper muses with a chuckle that he's never seen Orcs be outnumbered before, meaning that this has been a proper good fight. He grins as he squints a beady eye down his shooter's scope, setting the sights on the red armoured marines advancing on his position. All they had to do was hold out a little longer and the rest of the war boss's lads will be here, ready to stomp the beakies.
Despite massively reducing the Orc numbers, Sergeant Glario is keenly aware the situation is getting desperate as he hears the sounds of the rest of the Orc encampment getting ready to fight. Once again ordering the surviving squad members to maintain bolter discipline and to know no fear, he tells his men to omni-scramble the large Orc wielding the dual blades and to move in close to the objectives, and remove the greenskins from the approach points with their bare hands if needs must. My veteran is moving through the door and shooting at the comms boy. Okay, 4 shots with lethal 5 and rending. So that is 2 criticals, and then because of rending I can upgrade that to a critical, so 3 criticals.
I will set aside a dice for cover, because I'm skulking. Nothing. So 3 criticals go through, killing the Orc.
My veteran will then shoot at the stabby Orc. Okay, 3 crits.
Set aside save. I block crit. Does 2 crits, so that's 8 wounds, taking him down to 2. Sniper boy is going to move, and he's going to come up here. He's now going to shoot at the marine on the objective. Oof, that's unfortunate.
Okay, so I block a crit and a normal.
Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds.
Takes him to 2. Boxbreaker is moving up to here and will then shoot at the sniper boy.
2 crits.
2 crits.
Okay, setting aside save. Okay.
8 wounds.
I will do just a scratch to ignore one of those dice. He takes 4 wounds.
Second shot.
3 crits.
3 crits.
Not much I can do there. Set aside a save for skulking. Alright, double 6. No, okay. I will block 1 crit, 2 crits go through, killing the sniper boy. The injured slasher boy is just in range to charge the Boxbreaker. Alright, I'm injured, so hitting on 4s. And some relentless, re-roll these 2. 4 hits.
Okay, hitting on 3s.
3 hits. I just realised you only have 2 wounds, so I'm going to stab the Foxcaster, killing him.
Comms Marine is going to step up to here, go around, and shoot the Orc. 2 normals.
I'm skulking, So I'll set aside normal save. Oh,
saved it. Alright, well, let's go again. Okay, 1 crit and a normal.
Again, skulking. A lot. Ooh.
He is the lone survivor.
The orcs find themselves in the very unusual position of having Overwatch here, so the slasher boy is going to throw his throwing knives at the marine here. Hitting on 4s. Okay, so that's a hit and a crit.
Block the normal, crit goes through. I do believe that'll be enough to take him out.
That's 5 wounds, that takes out the marine.
The sergeant is going to pop to here. He's then going to shoot at the stabby orc. Okay, sergeant hitting on 2s. Okay, we've got 1 crit and 3 normals.
I think that's it for the slasher boy. He's skulking. And that means 3 shots go through, killing him instantly. And that brings us to the end of the game. We'll get to tallying the final scores in just a moment, but first I'd like to thank you for watching this far, and to consider liking the video and subscribing if you want to see more content like this in the future. We're a very small channel, so getting those numbers up helps motivate us and tells us that you want to see more videos like this. Returning viewers might have also noticed a few changes to the usual format. For the first time, we shot this battle report in 4K, which adds a few extra challenges to the shooting and editing steps, so let us know if it was worth it. This was also our first proper attempt at the much requested narrative battle report format. I'm personally still trying to find my feet in the editing room when deciding how I want these to look and feel. I'm trying to aim for something in between a fully narrative experience and 2 people enjoying the game for what it is. Let us know if you like the balance, or if you want more narrative focused narration during the turns. Anyway, getting back to the game, the Blood Angels were able to table the orcs completely in the final turn, preventing them from scoring any more victory points, leaving the orc score at 10. The Blood Angels themselves only controlled 2 objective markers and were unable to score any additional tactical ops, bringing their total score to 9. A close victory for the Greenskins as the rest of the orc camp mobilises to react to the encroaching Blood Angels. That's it from us for now. We hope you enjoy the battle report as much as we did making it. We'll see you in the next video.